Hi, my name is Duncan Calvert and I'm the President of the Students' Representative Council. I started university at the height of the COVID pandemic. It really was quite a difficult kind of process to adapt. It wasn't until I got involved in the SRC that I started to have a lot more of an enriching and meaningful university life. And I ran for a school rep position that I really came into my own. The SRC has given me a voice, has really helped me build my confidence. And for that I'm really grateful. One of its main functions is student representation, and through that work it provides students with a voice right up and down the university's governance structure, from class reps to school reps, welfare and equal opportunity reps and sabbatical officers. Having that student voice is really important and gives students a lot more power in determining what the university and student experience is like. My degree was in Portuguese and Spanish, and naturally I wanted to join the Portuguese Speaking Society. They put on a lot of great events, including language cafes, mixers, club nights. It really helped me expand my knowledge of what I was learning in the classroom, and it was also a great way to make new friends with shared interests, and also having the opportunity to go abroad during my studies. I think all of that is combined into making me a lot more of an adaptable person, a person who's a lot more engaged with the world around them, who's a lot more civic minded. Someone from the university's history who really inspires me is John L. Bell, who was the president of the SRC in 1975. He then later went on to run for rector of the University of Glasgow, and he really inspires me purely because of his work with the SRC and also what he went to do later on in life. John L. Bell was the president who signed off on the creation of the Gay Society in 1975, the predecessor to what we have now in GU LGBTQ+. That was really quite revolutionary at a time in which gay people and trans people in Scotland and the UK were the subject of really quite repressive policies. John L. Bell also pushed for greater representation on University Court and Senate, which students didn't have at the time and which we're lucky enough to have now. As a gay man, his story is really quite important to me and what he was able to achieve for his community. I was lucky enough for John to accept my invitation to go for a pint, and we had the opportunity to sit down and discuss what student experience is like both in my time and in his. There are a lot of differences but also a lot of similarities. Students pushing for change is a recurring theme, something that I continue on now from when he did in 1975. I think if I weren't a student in the 2020s, I'd want to be a student in the 1980s. Not only do I really love 1980s music, but the 1980s were a time in which student activism was really quite powerful and influential. I would have loved to have gotten involved in some of those movements. So the SRC has really had to evolve and change, I think quite successfully. We've added several new positions that cater to the varying groups of students on our campus. We continue to support clubs and societies that cater to specific groups, as well as put on events that help students from different backgrounds come together and meet and share common interests and just have a bit of a chat. I think what I'd want an alumni of the future to think about their time at the University of Glasgow is that we were a very welcoming community where all students from all different backgrounds were valued, had the opportunity to excel in their studies and excel outside of their studies. I think to the SRC of the future, I would hope that we have advanced quite significantly in the work we do in student representation and really inculcating that culture of student democracy on our campus. I think sometimes it's very easy to lose hope and become pessimistic, but coming together, empowering yourself, sharing your voice, fighting for what's right, I believe that we can do that.